Happy Friday, and welcome here to another edition of Husker Online. Headlines, Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, back-to-back days here as we kind of adjust back with Las Vegas now behind us, but fall camp players report on Sunday. Fall camp begins on Monday. So how do you spend your last normal weekend besides working?
I'm just going to lay it out. After this show, I'm going to go write a story for Saturday morning. So that'll take me till 5 or so once I get it all ready to roll. And then Saturday, I write my Sunday column. So that'll define my Saturday. And then Sunday, I'm going to write my Tuesday column because we have availability. And I think I better get something going or I'm going to be working 13 hours on Monday.
You might get something out of the Monday.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true. I could, but I got to write. But anything good, I'll write immediately. Right.
So, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
We're back at it, though, next week.
Monday, we have access. Can we say that now?
Yeah.
Can we jump into it? We have access.
Let me set the show up here.
Yeah, please. Sorry.
Like we have advertisers and things you got to set up.
My
here
bad.
Still.
My bad.
No, I'm heading to Fremont. We got state swim.
Oh, yeah. I should ask you. I kind of knew that. So you're doing this is Kit.
Yeah, she's got her state swimming meet.
It's state meet?
Yep. Long course.
And you will not have a timer in your hand.
I'm actually timing. just one session on Saturday. I'm a timer.
Okay. So, but this is a big deal. This is 2 days.
2 days. She swims for Club Husker. So they've got a great chance to the girls team has a great chance out there to have a good weekend. So hopefully that pays off.
Kid is now 12.
She just turned 12.
And they keep a team score in addition.
And her team right now, they're number one pretty much in every relay. So they have a deep team of girls. I'm excited to see how they do up there.
Is this an outdoor?
No, it is indoor at the long course pool, which is better because of weather. You don't want to have an all-day meet and deal with weather.
You're going to Fremont.
Going to Fremont. I'll be there all weekend.
Might as well be going to Berlin.
All right. Well,
but that'll be fun, Sean.
Let's set the show up. HuskerOnline Headlines, again, brought to you by the title sponsor of StayHome.Care. They offer many of the same types of personalized care that you'd find in a nursing home, right in the comfort of your home. Whether your loved one is young or old, living with a disability, recovering from surgery, or simply needs extra help when they're sick, StayHome.Care provides consistent, compassionate support from personal care and companionship to daily tasks like laundry, meal prep, and assistance with appointments or outings. We're here when your loved ones need you and you can't be there. Give them a call at 402-205-2233. Visit them at StayHome.Care. That's .care, not .com. Our heart is with you because we put our heart into everything we do. Your home, our care. StayHome.Care. And thanks to StayHome.Care, the title sponsor. But let's get into headline number one of the show. Headline number one, the heaviest lifting now begins on Monday as camp begins. Matt Rule and the Huskers will move in the dorms on Sunday. And I did confirm this. There is no more like 105, 115 man roster. They can have the entire roster a part of fall camp. Now, there obviously will be a point, I believe, where they have to get down to a certain number with the roster limits. But they have 125 players as of showtime on this roster. All of those players will move in the dorm, and they'll be in the dorm, it's my understanding, for about a week this year. Selleck Hall. I know they one year did around 2 weeks, and that's a pretty lengthy stay over there.
That would be really lengthy. Now, jumping back to we say the heaviest lifting, and there's heavy lifting that goes on all off season. I mean, they're working hard. I think August is, as far as the off season goes, I would characterize it as the heaviest because the season is upon you. We've covered this team for many years. How many years for you, Sean? 25?
Yeah, 99 is my first year. So I think I'm going on like 26 now.
Okay. So you've covered a lot of August, and August to me represents some level of tension. The tension escalates because the season is upon you. I've always been struck by how much tension there was in August at camp. Like if an injury occurs, key guy, huge. It's huge. You've seen it you've seen how the team reacts. It can be tough. That's a tough day. So they're heading into some tough days, not necessarily. I mean, I'm not suggesting that there'll be bad injuries, but you never know. But yeah, this is a heavy lifting time. As far as that number goes, it used to be a straight 105, right?
Yeah, and with COVID and then that extra COVID year kind of growing a lot of rosters, they did grow it up to 115, and that's where it had been. Now there is no camp limit, which was kind of an archaic rule. Why is there a limit? Like for Nebraska, they used to keep 50 kids out of camp.
Right, because they had such a big walk-on presence, 155 guys on the team, and it would be pretty big deal for the media to narrow down. Okay, who's on the 105?
Yeah,
and who's not on the 105?
You would go over there and you'd want to see, okay, what new walk-ons made the 105? Because that was always a big deal. If some new walk-on like Andy Janovich,
right,
comes in as a walk-on, Brandon Riley, they
on the 105 is news.
You're like, oh wow, this walk-on must be good enough because he's passed up 50 guys that are sitting at home. But then on the flip side, you would look. It was kind of like you'd figure out what scholarship guys didn't make it.
Yeah, you guys like you and I think Parker Gabriel, beat guys, the tough beat guys. Would you literally go count head count, right? So yeah, you don't have to do that now.
No, and it got a lot of traffic.
I know.
We posted that roster of who made camp.
Right.
And then one year, I remember under Frost, Jared Lamprecht goes, "Why don't I just give you the 105 so you have to walk around and count everybody?"
Jared was a DFO.
Yeah, and
the director of football operations,
chief of staff. Like
chief of staff. My bad.
They gave everybody, I think, a copy of those 105s.
Why did I say director of football operations?
Yeah, I don't know.
He was a chief of staff.
The chief.
Those are all kind of the same type of deals. But okay, so this year camp starts Monday, and what I was saying earlier is we actually get to watch some of it on Monday, which is great. We get out of the gate, we get to see probably 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I would anticipate with the open practice this week, and then maybe one more, we'll probably get maybe 3 looks at this team in August
or 4.
I think it's 3 right now. But
okay, so
I don't want to.
Are you counting the 1890?
Yes.
Thing? Oh, okay.
Didn't you read the schedule? But we can't share any. I think it'll be because it can always change.
Okay.
But ideally, we probably get about 3 looks of this team before Arrowhead.
Okay, well that's important. Monday's obviously important, and Rule will talk after the practice along with 3 players. So we're off and running.
So we'll be in camp full weekend. I was listening to Aaron Rodgers talking about camp now as a player versus
Aaron Rodgers
back in the day, and he said camp is still hard, but he goes, it's a much more mental thing now. Like because you spend back in the day, you just spent all day on the practice field.
Oh God,
double days.
You'd
be outside in the heat. It sucked. Now you can't do the double days, and that time is in meeting rooms. And so you're just in meetings upon meetings upon meetings. And so he said it's a different kind of grind because of the mental element.
Right. Then these guys go back to Selleck to their dorm for a week. It's good though. I think that makes a lot of sense. And it's not necessarily a unique thing to do. I was listening to Sharon Moore. They do a similar thing where they go to a hotel for a while. He keeps them bunkered down, maybe for longer than a week.
The players would probably like to be at a hotel versus the dorm,
right?
Because the bed situation.
Yeah, those guys that are 6'6", their feet are probably hanging off. Oh yeah, I was telling you when we were talking on the plane, I think, or in the airport, there were guys on the team that when we were doing interviews with players a year ago, they would make it pretty clear that Selleck wasn't a picnic.
You wonder if they'd ever consider a hotel,
the Scarlet.
Well, that or
is that too far away?
Well, there's so many new ones being built downtown.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be more beds, but that's cost. That's a lot of. I'm spending people's money here.
Yeah, that's cost.
They probably have to pay for the dorm though, still too.
Yeah. And I think the assistants are over there. Rule stays at the dorm, is my understanding, right?
He gets one of the RA suites.
Okay, well, he should. But anyway, we're rolling. I mean, it's here. It's funny how it just kind of all happens at once, but it's great.
I remember the Chiefs used to go to Wisconsin for their
River Falls,
and
River Falls.
the media would stay up there.
Yeah. I don't know how many, I don't know. I don't want to get into this, how many NFL teams did that, but yeah, the Chiefs for years, over 10, I'm going to say, went to River Falls. They don't do that anymore. They're in St. Joseph. That's your favorite team. You should know that, right?
Yes.
You ever think about taking the kids down to a practice?
Oh, maybe. It's a hard time of year though.
Yeah.
With school getting ready it's just to get down there and deal with a lot of people.
Is there anything in particular, I got to ask the stock question. Is there anything in particular you will train your eyes on Monday when we get to watch the first part of practice?
I would say the look of that offensive line, Tyler Kanak and Gatula and Teddy and those guys, what those guys look like at right tackle.
And are you almost looking to see who runs with the twos? Can you discern anything
if
from that?
they give us that kind of look?
We know Nax won because Rule said he'll trot out there.
Would they split that 2-rep, or would Teddy get it, or Gunner get it, or
listen to us?
Mosey at running back, Isaiah Mosey is intriguing. I think now that we know more about Andrew Marshall, I'd like to see him a little bit better. And then Jalen George, the defensive lineman.
Yeah, Jalen George is a name that has flown under the radar, basically because he was hurt in the spring, right?
He is the most experienced defensive lineman, though, on this roster in terms of college snaps played.
Oh, yeah. Jalen George started 23 games at East Tennessee State.
All-conference player.
All SoCon conference. And the other thing about him was he played on a state championship team in Georgia High School. Now, and he was good. He was a good player in that high school that won a 7A state championship. Very productive player.
I need to ask Rusty about him.
You need to.
Rusty Manziel.
Yeah, you need to. Jalen George, I would tell you, is critical. I'm not saying he's going to start, but if he's, I don't know, I don't want to speculate on how many snaps, but he's definitely a guy that behind the scenes, we haven't talked about probably enough. We haven't talked about enough, but behind the scenes they talk about. I also wonder about Hufkin.
I'm not hearing anything yet.
I'm not either.
So he still may be another year away.
Huh. God, he doesn't look a year away.
But you have Judy, you have Linhart, you have Van Poppel, you have Davis. Those are your top 4. Then I think Jalen George is in that group now. It looks like that's 5.
So who's right behind those guys? That's the question.
Those 5 names right there. Then you have Dylan Parrott, you have Mason Goldman,
Ashton Murphy,
and Hufkin, and Williams Winery.
Right. We forgot Winery. He can't. He's got to be a guy, as you would say, follow the money.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can pay him
a lot of money
and not play him. Right. He's got to be a principal guy. He's got to be one of the main guys.
Like you have to try to make this work.
Right. I think like the top 5 or 6, I feel pretty good about, but I think you need a couple more. And that's where I wonder about like a guy like Hufkin. And you don't know about Parrott. Those are kind of things you got to let camp play.
You don't go out and buy like a really nice house and then just let it sit empty and say, oh, you know what? We're just going to let it wait a while before you get working on it. Like,
right.
You're invested in Winery, and you need to figure out a way to get it going.
Well, I would hope. Now, I don't know. I haven't talked to Matt Rule about this. I haven't talked to the defensive line coach, but I would think that Winery needs a big August. Like establish himself as a guy that can be an impact player.
Here's the reality. If he doesn't perform at a high level, he probably can't get the same kind of deal next year. That to me would motivate anybody.
You'd think it doesn't motivate everybody in this world, but you'd think it would for sure.
All right.
That'd be a motivator.
Before we take it to headline number 2, again, we're brought to you by StayHome.Care. Call about 402-205-2233. Learn about their services, what they can do for you, your loved ones. It's never too early to learn what they can do for you to help loved ones in need. We're also brought to you by Billings Group. They're a trio of financial advisors made up of Lance and his 2 sons-in-law, Josh and Nate. They're based in Salina, and they help clients across the Midwest and beyond make smart, confident decisions about their money from your first real paycheck to your financial retirement party. Billings Group is here to walk you through the highs and the lows. Billings Group, financial advisors by your side for life's journey. Visit them at billingsgroup.com. Security is offered by registered representatives through Private Client Services. Member FIRNA SIPC. Advisory services offered by investment advisory representatives through RFG Advisory, registered investment advisor. RFG Advisory, Billings Group, and private client services are unaffiliated entities.
That was as smooth as Pete Maravich.
That's fall camp ready.
That was I don't know. It seems like you just kind of calmed down and locked in on
Yeah,
that
just slowed down.
Yeah, slow it down.
I kind of was going a little. We have to tell Carl, slow down, Carly. I had to slow down there a little bit.
Good job.
Break headline number 2. Offensive lineman Henry Lutovsky's stock is on the rise. Talked to him at Big Ten Media Days at length. He's 6'6", 320 pounds. He's never been in better shape in terms of lean body mass, physical shape. Gives a lot of credit, obviously, to the program they're building, but the training table. Just what they have access to. He's like, if I want to eat 10 steaks a day, they'll make me 10 steaks a day.
Not everywhere can say that.
No, come on. I mean, go to the grocery store and try to buy a steak and what it costs.
Right. So
it's $6 a pound for hamburger.
We're not suggesting that he eats 10, though.
I mean,
5.
What did AJ Ferrari eat? Like
9 to 10. Now, I will say this. We talked to Ferrari, the heavyweight for Nebraska wrestling, who said he ate 10 steaks. Manning, I subsequently talked to Mark Manning, and he said he might be exaggerating a little bit. But anyway, Lutovsky, okay, why do we say he's on the rise? Well, the fact just the fact he was in Las Vegas suggests that. They don't take anybody. And what I was told was when Rule asked Donovan, okay, who of your group should we take? It was a snap. It was Henry Lutovsky.
And he represented himself so well. Like,
did he?
When you hear him talk, I mean, he's just like a grown man. He is a grown man.
He is a grown man. That's what you need. By the way, I'm glad you said that. What do you need in the Big Ten up front?
Grown man.
Grown ass
like,
man. Right.
Hearing his voice and how he talked, it sounded like Brendan Stye. I mean, just like this real professional, like just well-spoken guy. When you talk to Brendan Stye now as he works for Nebraska, like, I'm like, God, this guy reminds me of Stye, just the way he speaks.
Well, that's quite a compliment, by the way, because Stye was a great player. He's a fundraiser. He's a great guy. He's an affable guy. If you say Henry's like that, that's a great compliment.
Well, yeah, he told me that he is going to play left guard, as we know, but he's open to play anywhere, and he understands if he wants to play at the next level, you're going to have to be versatile, and you have to rotate positions. And Donovan has really done a good job of cross-training all of his players.
Well, Donovan's done a great job, I think, with this line. Lutovsky, though, you know what he is? He does what Donovan says. He's a guy that's adopted the way Donovan teaches. He goes about it very diligently. And look what he did. Robin wrote about it. He came on last year. Really, he said a switch flip. Robin wrote the switch flip for Lutovsky in the win against Rutgers, where he had a career high pass blocking grade on PFF, played 69 snaps. He's on the right side, by the way. He's playing right guard then. He's playing left now. And then he followed that with his 3 best overall grade outs over the next 7 games. So long story short, he came on in the second half of last season. And then what happened? He carried it into the offseason. So now I would ask you this. Or I just would say it and get your reaction. It's possible you would say Lutovsky's their best lineman.
Rocco Spindler just playing and starting at Notre Dame at that level. I think it's hard to look past that. And, Pritchett started for Alabama. I know he didn't grade out well.
Pritchett's got the highest ceiling. He's got the highest upside.
I mean, there have been, mock drafts are all over the place, but there have been some mock drafts that have Pritchett as high as a first rounder.
Oh, I talked to somebody who knows this line and Pritchett, all these guys. Yeah, he says Pritchett, if he plays to his potential and if he's consistent, is definitely could make himself into a first rounder. Michael Severe's, who tracks a lot of draft websites and looks at it himself, has him going in the 3rd round if he goes out. But I think you could, I don't want to pit these guys against each other, but I think you could make a case for Henry that he's their best guy. I really believe that.
Yeah. One thing Spindler told this group when he got here is, there's more talent here in this room than we had at Notre Dame.
Offensive line or
offensive line.
Okay.
And I assume he was meaning offensive line because, and he said the difference was we had brotherhood and our team played together for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen that with Nebraska. There has been talent on some previous Nebraska teams, but they didn't really have a great brotherhood at times.
I think the offensive line, you would say, now is really cohesive, though. I mean, Donovan's done a good job of getting that group unified. They all do everything together. The humility. I think we both have. The expectations for that group are pretty high now.
The humility that Turner Corcoran and Teddy Prohaska have shown to kind of swallow their pride and kind of understand where they're at right now.
Right.
That because those guys have the ability to cause problems if they wanted to, if they weren't happy about.
Great point.
Where they're at.
Good point.
And they, obviously it's different time with NIL and how you take care of players. And I'm sure both players are still, being taken care of in this program, but they have gone about it in a great way where I think they understand what's going on and they'll have a chance to play, but they got to earn it.
Well, along those lines, I think Teddy could legitimately challenge for the right tackle spot. We know that Knack's going to trot out there first, but I hope you're not operating under the assumption that that's Knack's job no matter what. I hope you're not doing that.
No,
that's a competition.
He's going in as the starter.
Right. Gunner's in that Gunner Gatula is in that competition. Teddy's healthy.
No, Corcoran's a little he's still trying to come back.
Right. It's right now to start off. It is Knack, Teddy, and Gunner. And that's going to be hot. It's going to be a hot competition. If I were watching practice every day, that's where I'd watch.
All right.
I'd watch a lot of different things, but that is going to be a heated competition.
All right. Before we take it to headline 3, we're brought to you by StayHome.Care. Look, they can do so much for you, your family, your loved ones. It's never too early to learn about the services they can provide. What they try to do is pair you up with one of their 100 employees that work and care for your loved ones. It could be a family member, a friend that just needs some day-to-day assistance, and they come right to your home and make your life easier and also provide great companionship to somebody that might be alone as well. Call them at 402-205-2233. Thanks to StayHome.Care. We're also brought to you by HelloFresh, and talked about this earlier in the week. It's that time of year where you want to try to eat healthier and cook right at home. If you've been on vacation, probably you're just getting off vacation and you haven't probably had the best diet going for you on vacation as you normally would do.
Right.
The hotel breakfasts usually get me, by the way, on vacation.
Really?
Well, because you can just go crazy on those things.
We'll revisit that.
But HelloFresh, what they do is you say, hey, look, I want 2 meals, 3 meals per week. There's 2 of us, there's 4 of us, there's 6 of us. You tell them the number and they come up with exactly what you need: the produce, the meats, the spices, an easy to follow recipe card. They even have a great app that helps you make your order each and every week. Learn more about HelloFresh. And if you've never tried it before, but they have about 50 options per week you can pick from. We've got a deal with you with Husker Online. We're going to give you 10 free meals. We're going to make your summer enjoyable and delicious by signing up for HelloFresh.com. Go to HelloFresh.com/Husker10FM, and that 10FM stands for 10 free meals, and we're going to give you a free item for life. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/Husker10FM for 10 free meals and a free item in every box. HelloFresh.com/Husker10FM, 1 per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on your first box. New subscribers only. It varies by plan. Thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring us here on Husker Online Headlines. All right, number 3, report North Carolina could be looking at the SEC.
Report, semicolon.
You kind of like the...
Good job, Sean. Okay, so this is inside Carolina. This report
may or may not be an On3 site within a week.
Oh, really? Okay. Now, the language is a little soft in this report. I'm reading, well, actually, I'm not reading the Inside Carolina report, but that's who broke this. I'm reading an SI.com report, and it says this: North Carolina is aiming to join the SEC if events conspire to allow the school to leave the ACC at some point in the future. So this isn't imminent. It's not rock solid. They're going. But on the other hand, you know how this stuff works, having covered it. If Inside Carolina's throwing this out, they're not just doing it willy-nilly. There's talk.
Well, they got to strike while their iron's hot. And Bill Belichick, it kind of reminds you of the year Sue was at Nebraska. Nebraska's iron was hot.
It was.
And guess what? They were in the Big Ten the next year.
And guess who sold out their stadium this year?
North Carolina. So they're
sold out.
They're hot.
Single season sold out. Season tickets sold out.
North Carolina obviously is not in the SEC right now as far as a state, a market. They have South Carolina. So it does make sense. And people always thought North Carolina would be a coveted Big Ten team.
I know that's partially what's interesting about this. Now, before you go further with that, again, reading from SI.com, Carolina could even be considered at the front of the pack to go to the SEC along with Clemson. Right. Now, we talked last night and you said Clemson. What do you do? What's Clemson do? Because South Carolina might not want them in the SEC, which you're right. Now, here's what I'd say to that, though. I was thinking about it last night. Why wouldn't South Carolina say, come on, let's do this? And that rivalry will get hot.
Then at that point, it's a lot easier to play 9 conference games because that would be a conference game.
Yeah, but there's that. I just wonder, like I would say to South Carolina, think how hot your rivalry would be. In Nebraska, we long for that. I mean, we want that so bad. That's why I always say, let's do the Colorado thing. Let's get Iowa as hot as we can.
What is Clemson, though, without Dabo Swinney?
That's a good question.
Because by 2030, is Dabo Swinney still coaching?
Yeah.
It's going to be close.
Yeah. No guarantee there.
So you always talk about the now, but what are they after Dabo Swinney?
Right. I don't know.
Like Oklahoma after Lincoln Riley and Bob Stoops is a little different now.
Hasn't been as good. The reason we're talking down the line is the exit fee to leave the ACC will be $93 million in 2029, 2030. And then $75 million, which you could almost afford, starting in 2031. It is $165 right now. It's $165 million, the exit fee right now. But by then, by 2031, it's $75. Now that's because of a lawsuit that was settled. It was Florida State and Clemson that had a lawsuit with the ACC settled that made for more manageable exit fee. It was settled in early June. We never really talked about that much. We don't cover the ACC, but there was a major lawsuit settled out of court in early June that brought down those exit fees.
In Florida State, I still think the tea leaves read them to the Big Ten event, and they're trying to get into the AAU, which tells you they want to go to the Big Ten. So who would the Big Ten? Like, if they could add 2 more teams, would it be Florida State, Notre Dame? Would that be the dream 2?
Yeah, the complication, of course, is it never sounds like Notre Dame wants to join a conference, right?
But if the ACC blows up,
I know, but you've read those things about Notre Dame over the years. They want to be independent.
If they can't get games, though, like what if the Big Ten and the SEC play 9 games each, and then they schedule a 10th game as a crossover series? You can't play Notre Dame then.
Ooh, good point. Good point.
So that's how you get Notre Dame in a conference.
Yeah. You have to drag them in.
You force them in.
Yeah.
But this conference realignment with these ACC teams, Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, some of these teams like that, Miami, it's a network TV battle now, in my opinion, because if the Big Ten is able to get any of those teams, guess who that hurts the most? ESPN.
Okay, so now,
do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Because every team that leaves in ESPN league to go to Fox, CBS, NBC, that's a significant blow in these network wars.
Well, what will ESPN do to combat that? Wouldn't they try to keep that from happening?
Which they could be paving the road right now to get this done with North Carolina for that reason.
To get them in the SEC.
What happens to Duke?
I don't know.
Well, I think that rivalry is good enough that those teams will still play every year, even if they're not in the same conference. But they wouldn't play twice a year anymore.
I don't know. There's a lot to think about, and again, it's kind of awkward because this is still a little soft. Now, as SI.com points out, the timing of the ACC's this arrangement they have is noteworthy because the Big Ten's media rights deal, Sean, with various networks expires in when 2030. So that's probably somewhat explains the timing that North Carolina would make this move in 2030 or 2031 in that area. And then the SEC's pact with the ESPN ends in 2034. Is that what is the time range is what I'm trying
I think
to
the
get
SEC could renegotiate, or at least if they go to 9 conference games, they want more money. Like that's the other sticking point. Like it's got to be like right now, the Big Ten makes $10 million more per team, mainly because they play more conference games. And
now there's another pressing question for you. How do you feel about the ACC perhaps blowing up, like being dismantled?
Yeah, like
is that good?
Could they stay together though, and bring like West Virginia and Cincinnati in
So
the
the
ACC?
Big 12 would be affected.
Would those teams want to be in the ACC?
God, so what we're talking about is another significant round of realignment.
Well, Memphis tried to buy their way into the Big 12 for like what, $250 million?
What happened?
And they said no, evidently.
Yeah, the Big 12.
I don't know.
How would the Big 12 feel if Cincinnati and West Virginia came to them and said, "We're going to the ACC"?
That'd be a problem.
I would think so.
But they kind of feel like they're better fits in the ACC.
I think so.
Like I read somebody say like they should do a conference trade and send. I'm trying to think like there's some teams in the Big 12 that make more sense to be, and then put SMU back in the Big 12 trade.
Yeah, that would make sense because they're in the ACC right now.
But Cal and Stanford,
that doesn't make sense.
They don't want to be aligned with like Texas Tech.
No, why would they?
Or Oklahoma State.
I mean, you shouldn't say that.
But
that sounded bad. But yeah,
I'm just saying like their academic brow.
Right. They're highbrow.
I mean, they don't want to be sitting at meetings with Mike Gundy.
SMU's a little more highbrow. Yes. Marty's wife went to SMU. God bless her.
Even like the BYU, Stanford, and I mean, they have a lot of different views.
It's a good way, nice, soft way to put it.
I mean, just like, yes, I think those teams want to be aligned with more academic elites.
Now, you're a Big Ten honk. How do you feel about North Carolina eyeing the SEC that would take them out of the Big Ten?
My question is, what is the number? Does the Big Ten want to get to 20 if they ever expanded more, or is it bigger than 20? Because they're at 18.
Hasn't it always seemed to you like Sankey likes it where it is in the SEC?
Yeah, but if they're fearful, if ESPN is fearful they're going to lose these teams to the Big Ten, ESPN's going to force this.
Yeah.
ESPN can't lose all the revenue they make off North Carolina. They can't lose all the revenue they make off some of those teams because they would.
I know. If they went to the Big Ten.
Like Clemson and Florida State are worth so much of the overall revenue pie for the ACC football deal. And if they left to go to Fox, it's a huge blow to ESPN.
Yep. This is worth watching. Right now, it's nothing to get too crazy about, but you know, that entity throwing out that story, it just makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes.
Selfishly, I'd love for Miami to be in the Big Ten.
Why is that?
It's because I'd like to go to Miami for games, and
you like Miami.
There'd be a history with Nebraska, Miami. Mm-hmm. There'd be some fun matchups.
Miami's got the prestige too as an institution. Where Florida State, not as much.
Yeah, but Miami doesn't draw well.
No, they don't.
And that's where Florida State will come back. And
Florida State doesn't draw as well as you think of late. Now they they had the big season. But remember, my brother is a season. I don't know now. I don't know if Marty's a season ticket holder at this point, but he's a fan. No, they don't. They haven't drawn as well of late. It's not packed all the time. It's not.
All right. Let's take it before we go to headline 4. Again, we're brought to you by StayHome.Care. Learn more about them and the great things that Chuck and Nina and their team based out of Lincoln here, but they service all the surrounding areas as well around Lincoln. They go all over really Nebraska. Call them at 402-205-2233. Learn more about what they can do and help you and your loved ones in need. That's StayHome.Care. Also, I want to take this reminder again, Husker Night at the K, August 29th, Nebraska will be playing the night before against Cincinnati in Arrowhead Stadium. And then on the 29th, Kansas City, the Royals, will play the Detroit Tigers. And that is Husker Night at the K. It's their annual themed Nebraska night where tens of thousands of Nebraska fans fill Kauffman Stadium for a baseball game. There's a great prize that you get when you buy your ticket. You opt in and say, I would like the Nebraska prize. It's a windbreaker. There's only actually a few hundred left of those, though. So if you want to get your tickets, you better act now if you want the windbreaker, because you have to say yes for the windbreaker, and you'll get a voucher that you hand them when you walk in, and then they give you this windbreaker, which is in sizes medium and extra large. We've got discounts, so that's why I'm telling you about this. We've got a discount at Husker Online to get you a discount on your tickets and on your parking. So check our show bio page here on the description of our YouTube channel. The link is right in there. Get your tickets right on there. And we've had people order more than 15 plus, and you can email the Royals directly on that as well. And they'll help set up a large group order if you got a big group of family and friends that want to sit together at Kauffman Stadium.
Nice. That'll be fun. You're going.
I'm going.
Is Rob? No, I don't know if Rob is.
He may or may not. Because he's your ride.
Right.
Because if Rob's going, you're going.
I'm hoping he's driving. No, yeah. Well, we got to work. I mean,
the game is on Friday night.
I know, but we'll be working Friday
during the afternoon
after not sleeping. I mean, I'm not game like that. I'm gonna have to get some sleep. Right? We're gonna be up till 3:00 on Thursday night,
and you're gonna do your morning show still, or no? Are you?
No.
Put the kibosh on.
I will not do that. No,
because they were trying to stay at our hotel so you could come down the lobby at 6 in the morning.
That ain't happening.
That gets you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into headline 4. Flashback Friday. Let's take it to 2011 Iowa versus Nebraska. And there's a lot of significance to this game when you think about it now, 15 years later. Number one, it was the first year of the Heroes Trophy. It was they had to come up with a rivalry name for Nebraska versus Iowa. And
Hy-Vee stepped up.
Hy-Vee stepped up as the court. They're no longer the title sponsor, but I can still remember we're in Chicago at the Big Ten Media Days, and there's this big press conference with all the executives from Hy-Vee and leadership from Iowa, leadership from Nebraska, kind of announcing this new trophy series. And I remember they had a bunch of swag there. Do you remember the hats?
I do. I remember.
What I do remember is there's so many Nebraska media compared to other teams usually, and the Nebraska media took all the swag before the Iowa media could get in there and get it. And there were some not very happy Iowa riders.
Oh, for God's sake. It was a hat and some other stuff.
But I mean, there were guys that took like 5 hats.
Great. So this was 2011. 2011
in Lincoln was the first Heroes Trophy game. And at that point, I wrote the book that comes out next week, the program. I talked about the Iowa series in that book, and John Papucha said we never looked at it as a rival. He was the defensive coordinator on that 2011 Nebraska defense, and he said, we just never really thought of them as a rival because they weren't a very good program at that point. We had won 3 of the first 4, but particularly Nebraska wins that first game in Lincoln, the 2011 game. Why is that significant, Sip? That's the only win Nebraska's had over Iowa in the history of this Heroes Trophy series.
In Lincoln. They've lost Nebraska
6 in a row.
I texted that to you last night. I will not say the response you gave. It was not pretty. The Iowa has won 6 straight in Lincoln. I mean, the ramifications are enormous for a guy like Kurt Ferentz, right?
It's changed. I truly believe his success over Nebraska, winning on Black Friday, the way he's won the last 10 years, has completely changed, kind of helped change some of the trajectory of his program.
Well, that's wonderful. That's just wonderful that he was able to do that against Nebraska. But you're right. You're right. Let's switch it to a more
But this 2011 game,
2011, it was Rex. I mean, this was a Rex game.
And this was a
Rex Burkhead.
This was a fairly beat up Nebraska team. Their first year of the Big Ten. Think about Nebraska's opening Big Ten schedule. They played at Penn State. They played at Michigan. They played at Wisconsin with Russell Wilson. They played Ohio State in Lincoln. They played Michigan State with Kirk Cousins in Lincoln. That first Big Ten schedule, Nebraska played everybody.
At Minnesota. Yeah, they played at Minnesota. It's right.
And then Northwestern beat them in Lincoln that year. But this was a good Nebraska team.
Pretty good.
That lost at Michigan to Brady Hoke.
They lost 45-10. They had a lot of problems at Michigan. In fact, in that game,
and Wisconsin hammered them.
Yeah, against Michigan, Burkhead was. I mean, he got banged up. He came out of that. They lost. Remember, they lost 45-17 at Michigan, and he had been limited in practice all week. In fact, Rex started the week. It's so interesting when you look back on this. He started the week in a walking boot and then ran 38 times against Iowa. He was in a walking boot on Monday and then carried 38 times against Iowa in that game for 160 yards.
Think about the meat grinder too. You go at Penn State, at Michigan, back-to-back weeks, and then you flip around, come back home for a short week, 11 a.m. kick against Iowa.
Rough. Now, Nebraska was ranked 22nd. Iowa was unranked, but they were a bowl team. I mean, Iowa, with that loss to Nebraska, was 7-5. Nebraska was the better team, but you're right. It was a beat up Nebraska.
So 38 carries for Rex Burkhead set the school record for carries in a game.
Mm-hmm.
And
what do you know about that?
So I talked to Ron Brown about this in the book about Rex, and the kind of, we all know Rex Burkhead's character, how high it is, and
humility.
Nebraska had the game wrapped up.
They did,
and they didn't need to play Rex Burkhead, but Bo was adamant once he found out that Rex was one carry away from setting the school record for carries, and Bo really wanted Rex to have the record. Well, Rex didn't want to go back in,
right?
And so Bo, as you know him to do, he was on Ron Brown. You get him in the game, and he might have used some other words. And so Ron Brown's like, look, Rex, Coach Bo really wants you to have this record.
Second to last play of the game.
So Rex comes back in for one more carry, gets the 38th carry, but he kneels it down.
It was they were in victory formation.
They gave him a carry in victory.
Right. So he got the record. Yeah, Rex. The game was in hand. It was 20-7. Game was over. So I kind of get it, but yeah, that's Rex's character. Now you would say, why was Rex carrying the ball so much? Well, I mean, Amir was young. I mean, he's a freshman. Amir Abdul was a freshman. He spelled him, but he never had more than 2 consecutive carries. They rode Rex in that game. Amazing. I mean, I don't remember that as well. I had to look back, but God, when you think about it, walking boot on Monday, 38 carries on Saturday.
I also remember this about that game. Marvin McNutt, one of the all-time leading receivers, one of the best in their history at Iowa.
Right.
St. Louis guy.
Right.
Came as a quarterback to Iowa, then moved to receiver.
And what happened?
Alfonso Dennard
shut him down.
So Bo played a defense that day where it wasn't left corner, right corner, or boundary field. It was Alfonso Dennard. You follow around McNutt the whole game.
Wow.
And he held McNutt to like his worst game.
McNutt had 4 catches for 29 yards.
And he was an first team all Big Ten receiver.
Yep. He had 2 catches for 1 yard through 3 quarters. 2 catches for 1 yard going into the 4th quarter. Alfonso. Wow.
Locked down a big time receiver.
Yep.
So McNutt was a non-factor in that game. You had senior day on that day for Levante David. Senior day for Alfonso Dennard. senior day for an injured Jared Crick.
Okay.
Because Crick was injured for that game.
Really? Yeah. So these teams were meeting for the first time since 2000. Martinez Taylor was 12 of 22 for 163. Kenny Bell had a game, 5 catches for 93 yards. That was a good win. It's just a good rugged
20-7.
20-7.
But it felt more than that.
It did. It was like, Nebraska. It was up 20-0 going into the 4th.
Yeah, Iowa never, and
they scored with 3:26 left. Iowa did.
And I can remember some of the criticism from the Iowa media after the game about Iowa. Like they didn't run any gadgetry or any imaginative stuff. I mean, kind of like what we did. I mean, just very basic vanilla. And Bo just eats that up. Like,
yep.
I mean,
You're right. So yeah, you're right. Nebraska had it in hand. Iowa scored with 3:26 left. They weren't a big threat. So, but God.
Well, then
like you said, Iowa's won 6 straight since that in Lincoln, which kind of, I mean, I don't know if even a lot of people realize that, Now they've been the ranked team 3 times against unranked Nebraska teams. So some of it's somewhat expected.
After that game, though, Carl Pelini left to go to Florida Atlantic.
Was it soon after that game?
In that month, yeah, and the days following. It was Black Friday, and he left in December.
Okay.
And then what happened was Rick Kaczynski left Iowa's coaching staff and joined Nebraska's staff for the Capital One Bowl against South Carolina.
You have an amazing memory.
No notes, by the way. I'm just
defensive line coach. Yeah, Kaz.
And so you remember
Kaz was a hell of a defensive line coach.
It's like the win over Iowa that day came with the Heroes Trophy and Rick Kaczynski.
That worked out really well too.
Yeah, it was.
So yeah, that's a good one. When you proposed that, I was like, why would we do that? But it makes
15 years of Heroes Trophy.
Yeah.
And at that point, when Nebraska jumped out to a 3-1 series lead, it sure felt like this was going to be a one-sided series.
It has been.
Yeah, Nebraska is down in the series right now. I think they're 4-10 against Iowa.
Got to get better. You got to win these games in Lincoln. So they get them in Lincoln this year. Come on.
They're down 6.
Right. Win this game in Lincoln, right? I mean,
well, and you got to think eventually Iowa will change when Kirk Ferentz is gone. But how many more years will he just got a new contract?
I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know.
They got a good team this year, Iowa. They're going to be tough. All right. Let's get to headline 5 odds and ends. Again, StayHome.Care, the title sponsor. Call them at 402-205-2233. Thanks to StayHome.Care. Learn more about them, their services, is visit them at their website again at StayHome.Care. Let's take it to odds and ends and where we're going to start. Training camp starts this week on Monday. One thing we'll get our first look at is Nebraska's new grass practice fields. And
you've seen it quite a bit.
I've been able to get a good look at it all summer because
tell me why.
So this is I took some when Kit practices at Devaney Center for her swim team. I'll usually go on a walk and you can walk back and see the practice field. And this is kind of like a stage. That was when they laid it down the first day.
So you saw a little sand on that first one.
Yeah. And then this is the second week. And so there's kind of you'll see kind of a little bit of, and then we got some good rain as well. It's kind of helped establish it, but they've got this grass down. And as Dannon said, this is the final piece to this facility project, getting the bow on this big project. And you see the lines on the field. And
you've taken a timeline of photos over several
and then
weeks.
Here's yesterday. I mean, that thing looks like putting green.
They fenced you off at this point.
They've added fencing.
They fenced Sean off. Yeah. Okay. And why is this important? I mean, we don't think like a head coach, but the head coach, what he said in Vegas at media days, think about what he said about knee injuries. The 4 years before he was here, Nebraska had 24 ACL injuries and 49 knee injuries total. Was that the numbers? That I think that was the right
over
numbers.
4 years.
Yeah, over the 4 years prior to his arrival, there was an inordinate amount of knee injuries, and I think Rule would. Well, I mean, what he was suggesting was we were on bad grass and we were on a bad playing field at Memorial Stadium, right?
And so this is a huge step. I also think it's a big step then to, if this grass they like, this will be what they put in the stadium someday.
Okay.
But that may not be till 2029
or 2030 or something.
I mean, a long time from
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. Like you've said, 2029, if they have that stadium done, that's what they'd like to have it done. But you know how those projects go. It might go into 2030.
But that turf in Memorial Stadium that they tore out this year, that was like only 2 years old.
Didn't wear well.
And
did it?
It tells you, well,
no, it didn't.
They had the 9-year turf in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then they did 2 more years on this new turf.
Mm-hmm.
And it tells you how much that Matt Rule and his people must not have liked the stadium turf.
Right. Now, what they have in there now is beautiful. I mean, it really, people, when they show up on that first game or whenever they show up, you'll notice.
It's a faster track, I'd say, too.
Well, that's what they say. Yeah, that's what Dr. Elta told
me. There's not as much
cushion
to it.
Right.
But they want to, but this grass outside, they, in the past, if they redid those grass fields, they just kind of basically threw grass on top of grass. I mean, it wasn't really done at a high level. This project, I mean, they stripped it down from soup to nuts and literally redug everything, redid the drainage, because grass practice fields really weren't a huge priority ever for Nebraska.
Well, and then the knee injury thing, and then the new head coach. I mean, I think this is a lot Rule driven, right? Wouldn't you say that?
But this project, not cheap.
Of course not.
I mean, when you see like this type of grass and the type of care it's going to need, and I'm sure there's a heating element to keep it alive.
There is. I know that. Now, but this is a player safety. This is player safety, so you don't scrimp on it. Scrimp. You don't try to go on the cheap route. This is a player safety issue, and it was proven over time there's a player safety issue.
So in this given off season, they've added 2 full massive grass fields and done 2 brand new field turf fields in the stadium in the Hawks.
Wow. Here we are talking about the grass.
But this will be, I'll be interested to see kind of the review of the players on that. All right. I want to also hit on this. What did you make of President Trump's executive order on NIL?
Well, first of all, what I noticed is a lot of people weren't seemingly that interested in it. You don't like our message board. I didn't see a lot of people saying, Sean Sipp, what's the deal here? I don't know how much it changes anything.
Yeah, I think most people, we've seen enough of these executive orders and things happen where some judge somewhere will have the ability to slow it down or fight something. So I think most people are educated enough to never get too overly excited about executive orders anymore, because it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen.
Right. So of note, and this is CBS Sports, the prohibition of third-party payments does not, okay, let's put it this way. The executive order does not target brand endorsements with local and national companies. So
legit NIL is going to be still there. But
this is not ending that.
What they're trying to prevent is a big booster that just says, hey, I have a $500,000 NIL payment for a guy that's going to make 1 appearance.
Is it trying to essentially knock back pay for play?
Pretty much, but there will be ways around this still. Like Oregon with Nike, for example, could just sign guys to Nike endorsement deals.
Right. So that's one reason why people haven't reacted that strongly to it. It's what it does is it gets this executive order basically enhances the strength of the College Sports Commission, and or more specifically the College Sports Commission's name, image, and likeness clearinghouse. It gives a little more teeth to it, is the way I see it.
Things are still pretty messed up though with all the front loading, and that's the hard part about all NIL. Like, coaches are excited about maybe some more clarity to things with the rev share, but just the uneven playing field the front loading has created.
That's a 1-year thing though, right?
It should be, but you just never know. But how will those people that are paying this much money right now be able to pay that much money next year? How they're
Right.
like, because a lot of those guys who in America likes to take pay cuts.
Right.
Nobody.
No.
Big pay cuts in this case, if they can't get this money approved.
Mm-hmm.
So that will be the one thing to watch long term.
But I think like a school like USC, which it was definitely in the front loading business, just says, well, I don't care about next year. We have to take care of this year because we have to win now. And we're in, and you know this, everybody's in a win. This is a win now business now. And nobody's looking too far down the road. They'll deal with the new rules as they occur, and they will say to their lawyers, okay, now what? Now what? Now how are we going to get around this? We got to figure this out now. It's kind of the way college football is now, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, or a coach could win now and leave, and then leave the problems for the next guy.
Right.
And then you've been around enough to know you go to these press conferences and the new coach comes in and tells everybody how big of a mess things are.
Yes and no. I was struck at Big Ten Media Days by, you heard Bielema do the opposite. He said, we're in a great era of college sports. Interesting. I like to hear that. I like to hear the other side. And he wasn't the only one. Some of the coaches don't complain that much.
I think most fans still would like a little bit more transparency. People want to know how much money the players are making.
But
you won't be able to find that out, though.
No, along those lines, I wrote about that in Tunnel Talk, and it's covered. We should.
Somebody shared this on our message board.
We can. Well, wait a second.
I was giving you some time to
the NIL. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's fine. The NIL contracts through a university are being considered as educational records under the family. I know this is all legality stuff that sort of people don't is unappealing. They're covered through the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, which essentially protects them from FOIA requests. So you're not going to find out. I was on another show that they said, simple, why don't you just FOIA these schools? You can easily find out what these players are making through, just file a Freedom of Information Act request and get their pay. No, you can't. It's protected. It's protected by federal law.
Somewhere, somehow, though, it will get out somewhere. Like
how, though, if it's protected?
I don't know. I mean, I think somebody will get a hold of somebody's payroll and it will get published. It will happen,
but it won't be uniform. Like it might just happen randomly, anecdotally,
or somebody could have it and not use names and say this specific SEC school paid their quarterbacks this.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what people are interested in. But Dr. Jeffrey Gold spoke in Kearney, evidently, and somebody shared this on our board, and he referenced RevShare, and he said the football team will be getting about 67% of the 20.5. And I think a lot of people thought it'd be closer to 75%, but there's some other additional costs in there with scholarships and additional scholarships. So that's roughly $13.5 million that football will get out of the rev share.
And then you add NIL on top of that?
And then NIL and front loading.
Okay. So you say three-pronged kind of.
Yeah. And
when you look at the payments.
Like, you have to think like a Dane Key and some of these guys they added, how much of their money was front loaded versus how much their money was rev share.
Dane Key, Williams, Winery, Pritchett, Spindler, McCullough, those type of guys.
Look, they went heavy on the portal. Heavy.
Oh, they did. I know. I mean, they had to, right?
All right. Finally, any more thoughts from Vegas? Big Ten Media Days in the books.
It's been an interesting conversation to me because I liked it in Vegas, but it seems like most people are out on Vegas hosting that event because they didn't treat it as a big deal, right? I'm basically going off what James Franklin said, but it seems like he had a lot of people agree with him, including myself, frankly. So what I'm telling you is mixed messages. I liked it in Vegas. I'd love to go. Like, if you told me in April, hey, Sipple, we're going back to Vegas, I'd love it. All right. That's awesome. But I'd like to see Vegas do a better job of promoting it.
Could it have been at the football stadium?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, unless they had something else there, or they just don't.
But
it's possible that a football stadium would say, no, we're not So why do you say that? Because that the Colts stadium allows us to set up on the field. Now, if you were a manager of the Raiders stadium, Allegiant Stadium, would you say, yeah, go ahead, let's do it on the field? I don't know if you would or not.
Well, and like these hotels in Vegas are so big. Like our hotel Aria was 4,000 rooms.
4,000 rooms, and it was 80% full.
So in a hotel like that, Big Ten Media Days might occupy a couple hundred rooms. Like Aria Hotel or whoever is not going to just take over their whole hotel and make it about Big Ten Media Days when they have 3,800 other rooms with guests.
Yeah, good point.
Or Indianapolis, that's the thing in the town. Like we joked if Omaha, which they wouldn't, but if Omaha was the host of Big Ten Media Days, it'd be like they'd shut down the city for it.
You'd know it was there. Where in Vegas, that's the point, like that Franklin was making. You didn't really know. As we were walking through that massive Mandalay Bay Center, and I at one point said to you, Sean, are we sure that's here? Because there was no signage or anything. And
we met Kyle Crooks for the first time.
Yeah, we saw Crooks and
Caleb Henry.
And it was like, okay, this is good.
Like,
this is good. This suggests that it's here. Yeah.
But they didn't know where they were going. They were going the wrong way. I'm like, hey, guys, I think it's this way.
The point is, when we went to Chicago, remember when it was at that downtown hotel, when you walked in that hotel, it was like, welcome Big Ten. Welcome to the Big Ten. Welcome Big Ten Media. Here's where you go. Here's where you go. Right as you walked in. So I don't know. Again, I liked it there, but I just wish they'd make a bigger deal.
I did get a kick out of James Franklin, though, talking about how like their media couldn't afford to come. I wanted to say to James, no media can afford to go to State College.
But they would never hold it in State College.
I know, but I'm like, it's our most expensive trip by far.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like we're spending more money to go to Penn State than we did to go to Ireland.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Really? That's amazing to me.
Well, I'm not going to fly in and drive 4 hours into the game. Like that's how you cheapen that trip up.
Flying to Harrisburg,
and it's going to be that's 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
But it's going to be, they say, a night game. We don't know that.
Oh
yet.
God, me and Parker did that Harrisburg thing after a night game when it was snowing.
It wasn't a night game. It was a 3:30 game.
Yeah, it felt like night game,
but it got over late.
Yeah, and we had a harrowing trip back because it snowed, slick. You know,
we're staying a mile from the stadium.
Good.
So we'll be all right.
Any other takeaways from Big Ten Media Days? You hear a lot of media say it's not worth going. I completely disagree. It's definitely worth going.
I think next year we might do our show. I might take our stuff down there and we'll do more show.
Take our equipment, and do live shows.
I thought about it more. I'm like, instead of trying to like compete with 50 people screaming at Matt Rule, why don't we just do our own thing there? Our own show.
What you're alluding to is when he's at that side podium, it's really hard to get a question in.
You can't hear either.
Right. Yeah. But we'd have to have a reporter there, right?
Well, yeah, we would.
Yeah.
Robin.
Right. So don't be irritated.
What are you worried about?
I just was thinking logistics.
Well, you can also go back and forth.
Right. Right. No, I like the idea of doing our own show there. I think that's the next play.
Yeah. And have people on that we know. I mean, it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It does. I think we should.
The content would be better.
Yeah.
Versus you ask Rule a good question. Everybody wrote what you asked.
Right. Exactly. I mean, that's what happens. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. So let's do it. Let's go back to Vegas. Let's go back to Vegas and do it. You prefer Chicago.
I would like Chicago because it's a direct flight.
Right.
And I think everyone in the Big Ten can get there on a direct flight.
Vegas is a direct flight.
Vegas is a little over 2 hours. So it was like 2:10 or 2:20, which is beautiful. I mean, it was easy.
But Chicago's a shorter flight. It's easier logistically. I get that. Indy's not easy logistically. That's the thing. No, not for us.
It's a connection flight during the prime thunderstorm season or an 11-hour drive during prime Midwest construction season.
I still am in the camp that these things are worthwhile.
Oh yeah.
I'm always kind of surprised when I hear people say they're not. I think they are.
No,
we get a lot of content.
We owe it to our subscribers and our viewers and listeners to be at these things. That's what they pay us for.
Right.
Like you know, that they don't come just to hear you. They want you to bring insight from the
Mhm.
event and what you learned.
And what we did at Golden Steer.
And
but anyway, it was I thought it worked out really
I
well.
keep hearing a lot about Golden Steer.
Yeah. I think that if we go there again, I'd like to go back.
And you'll buy this time?
Well, we kind of all chipped in.
I know. I'm kidding.
It's expensive, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
It'll be your turn.
Okay. Can do.
All right. Well, everybody have a great weekend.
Yeah.
We'll be back Monday. We will definitely have a show after all of the fall camp fun is over with. Sipple and I will tape a headline show. So have a great weekend, everybody. We'll be back Monday and we'll be talking fall camp. Thanks for joining us here on Husker Online Headlines.